and bigger that actually orbit around Earth every so often. So it just takes one of those bad boys to go a little haywire, and that's a wrap on humanity. You swallow 1 to 2 cups of mucus every single day. The average bed will have between 100,000 and 10 million dust mites on it. Ugh. Here's the sole reason why dogs are better than cats. When you die, if you're in your house and you have a cat, that cat will begin to eat you. The fact that you're still not following me on here or Instagram, come on.
This is a scary story about the photo. There was a man who had a 6-year-old son, and one day the dad bought a new phone. He started cooking dinner and left his phone on the kitchen table. His son then came down to the kitchen, and he asked if he could play with the phone. His dad said yes, as long as he didn't call anybody or delete any text messages. The young boy agreed and went to his room to play with the phone. Around 10 p.m. that night, the dad went upstairs to get his phone and tuck in his son. He saw his son face down, passed out, and the phone on the ground beside his bed. He then started going through the phone, making sure he didn't delete anything. He noticed minor changes, like the ringtone and background was different, but nothing serious. He then noticed some pictures his son took. He thought, how cute, he's taking pictures of himself. But then he came across a photo that made his heart skip a beat. It was a picture of him sleeping with a very creepy woman in the picture who took the photo. He then checked on his son and tried to wake him up, but it was too late. He flipped his son on his back and saw that he was stabbed countless times and was dead.
The crazy part is, most people believe that these 3 things will save your life. They don't. Let's pretend you've just moved into your brand new house and you hear some strange noises coming from the basement. Although it may seem really appealing to want to go downstairs and investigate your basement, it's a terrible idea because there's going to be a demon down there. But you decide you still want to go down, and so of course, what's down there? A demon. And as soon as you reach the base of the stairs, they grab you, they start throwing you against the wall, you manage to scramble back upstairs and slam the door behind you, narrowly escaping death. At this point, most people believe that the right thing to do in this situation is to get your Ouija board out and try to make contact with your demon to maybe convince them not to harass you. But demons don't respond well to that, and typically it only incites them to do more damage to you and your family. You play with a Ouija board anyways, you make contact with your demon, and before long somebody's possessed, and your demon's charging out after you. You take off running, but then you remember that if you just forget how to run, no demon can catch you. Except that's not true. They will catch you.
Here are some photos taken right before disaster, part 4. This is the last photo ever taken of the legendary Kobe Bryant. This is Brady Smeagol, a 13-year-old that actually caught this photo with his idol on the day Kobe actually died. Rest in peace to the Mamba. This is the last photo ever taken of Regina Kay. She was one of the 50 victims of the infamous serial killer Robert Ben Rhodes. The deranged serial killer was a truck driver who relentlessly tortured his victims before killing them in the back of his semi-trailer. Regina Kay was actually his last victim, and Rhodes took this picture moments before murdering her. Pretty dark. During routine maintenance on a wind turbine in the Netherlands, a fire broke out and actually blocked the escape route, and these 2 guys right here got stuck with no way down. One of the men decided to take fate into his own hands and actually jumped 211 feet to the ground, and the others' charred remains were later found by firefighters. Rest in peace to these 2 legends. Pretty cool!
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Top 3 most painful torture methods. Number 3. Trampling. In Southeast Asia, elephants were trained to stomp in circles over top prisoners, squishing their bodies, and eventually their head. 9,000 pounds of elephant foot to the face is enough to pop it like a grape. Number 2. Ling Chi, more commonly known as death by 1,000 cuts. The victim was tied down, and body parts were lopped off, one at a time, so accurately, the victim was usually still screaming and squirming in pain, while the executioners ripped out their heart. Number 1. Gridiron. Simply put, they were strapped down to a human grill. They were said to be covered in oil to ensure the entire body would cook. A fire would be set beneath them, and they would be in total agony anywhere from 1 to 13 minutes. I overcharged over 5,000 people. Back in high school, I used to work for the concession stand. In my school, the booth was a little folding table where I would sell water, pop, and chips. To anyone that was a visiting team, I would charge 25 to 50 cents more on the items they wanted to buy, and I would keep it. I ended up making somewhere around $3,000 doing this for my high school career, and no one ever found out because I didn't charge anyone from the home team the same amount. I once made a kid drink my urine. It was snack time at church. We had cookies and Mountain Dew. The older kids dared me to piss in a cup and give it to you. I was dumb and eager to impress and belong. We were young, maybe 8. You were a bit of a bully, but I was no better. I wish I had the courage to be my own man. I still wish it. I'm sorry, Eric.
No, no, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. No, no, don't touch me there. No, no, don't. Hey, whoa, whoa! I am sick of you disrespecting my no-no square! This elevator is my no-no square. You can't think too much into it, dude. When you have the horny, anything is possible. Never underestimate the horny, narrator. My dad told me that right before he went to jail.
Top 3 mysterious animals. Number 3. The buffalo leech. This unusually sized leash are sometimes kept as pets, and within 2 to 3 months, they can grow to the size of an arm. Buffalo leeches are a taboo pet, to say the least. Number 2. Long-wattled umbrella bird, found in Central and South America. This one-of-a-kind tropical bird has a pretty standout feature. Weirdly enough, this bird isn't good at flying, and usually sticks to gliding. Either way, this guy is pretty cool. Number 1. The maned wolf. The daddy long leg of wolves. Well, actually, this animal is neither a wolf or a fox, but they do stand at 3 foot tall and 55 pounds. He looks a little silly, but is pretty nice and sometimes shy, which leads this animal to be nocturnal.
Part 23 for real, last part, no cap.
The loneliest man on earth. Very little is known about this man. He is classified as uncontacted, meaning no outside has ever spoken to him. He is believed to be the only survivor after a group of 6 was attacked by farmers in 1995. His tribe was never named, and it's not known what language they used. For years, the Brazilian media dubbed him as Man of the Hole because he leaves behind deep ditches, presumably to trap animals or even to hide. In the past, he's also abandoned straw huts and handmade tools such as resin torches and arrows. Today, farmers and illegal loggers still want this protected land. He's in danger because the moment he's taken out, the land is no longer protected. But contacting him could result in an attack. But even if he was peaceful, he would most likely die from commonly treated diseases his immune system would be compromised from. He's now in his 50s, and thanks to being protected, he will stay uncontacted until his passing. The last of an unknown people, still living in the Stone Age with no idea what's going on out here, and probably never will. Top 3 photos before disaster. Number 3. Parkour. This photo shows Pavel Kashin performing a backflip on the wall's ledge. His friend took this photo mid-flight. Sadly, his stunt led to his death, as he lost his footing on the way down and fell to his demise. Number 2. Niagara crash. This here is Joseph Avery. When his boat crashed, he and 2 others fell out, and sadly, the other 2 were killed instantly. But somehow, Avery clung to a rock for nearly 18 hours while waiting for a rescue boat. Unfortunately, the moment he stepped onto the rescue boat for safety, that boat also capsized, then finally killing him. Number 1. Columbine. This is teacher William Sanders. He stayed to guide over hundreds of students to safety during the Columbine tragedy. He saved countless lives, but unfortunately lost his own when he was later shot in the chest twice during the Columbine massacre. Top 3 freak shows. In the weird world of the past, freak shows were a big part of the circus. Most stories sad or painful, but what they have in common are their biological oddities. Number 3. The bearded woman. Born in Virginia in 1865, apparently she was born with the beard. Before she hit the age of 1, her parents sold her dignity to P.T. Barnum's exhibit in New York City. She passed away at the young age of 37 from tuberculosis, ever only living the freak show life. Number 2. Siamese twins. Chang and Ang Bunker were born attached, with each their own body. After touring with terrible lives, they ended up wealthy and bought land and slaves and lived off them until their passing. Number 1. Bigfoot. Franny Mills suffered from Milroy disease, causing her legs and feet to swell immensely. She ended up passing at the age of 39, in a lot of pain and alone, as many of the freak shows did.
Three American things that I just don't understand. Number 3. Why do you call pizza pie? I don't get it. That's a pizza, nothing else. That is a pie. Although, there is that Italian song, like a big pizza pie, it's not a pie, mate. Maybe that one's on the Italians. Number 2. Why don't you know much about other countries? Do you only learn American history, American geography? When I was living there, more than half the people couldn't show me where Australia was on a world map. It's right there, mate. But that's alright. I'll teach you. Number 1. Why do you call your main meals entrees? What? To the rest of the world, entrees are our starters. And we call our main meals because it's the main meal. So if you value your life, just call them main meals, mate.